thanks for coming, and hopefully when you leave here, I will give you some information that will help you going forward. Um, Samaj is part of our Hydrating for Life team, and we're independent distributors for Kangen water. But the mission for Hydrating for Life is to bring awareness of chronic dehydration, which is a precursor to just about every chronic illness and disease. And so in our community especially, so that's really the mission, is try to expose as many people to proper hydration. And so one of the things that I like to do before we actually start a presentation is to address the enemy that's hidden in plain sight. Most people are dehydrated, severely dehydrated, and they don't realize it because, and I have a bunch of literature and I'll open it up later, but one of the things I like to do to just sort of bring that point home. Do you have your phone out?
Yes.
Okay, just go to your calculator apparatus.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And you can put your weight in it,
Uh-huh.
in your weight.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now divide that number by 2.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that represents half your body weight in ounces. That's the recommended amount that you should be drinking per day.
Okay.
When we were growing up, they used to always say, 8 glasses of water a day.
Right.
Yeah.
But because everybody is different sizes, it's just like, a smaller person will be impacted by drinking, 1 beer as opposed to somebody that's,
Right.
250 pounds.
Right.
So your size has a big factor in it. So that's half your body weight in ounces. Divide that number by 16, okay? So we can make it relevant. Okay, so this is like a 16-ounce bottle.
Okay.
So this is what you should be drinking, per day.
Right.
And then multiply that number by 30. Okay, and is your number between 150 and 2 something?
Yes, do something.
2 something. So if you hadn't drunk this many bottles in 1 month, you're dehydrated.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I do it like this, is so people can really see it, because people think that they drink enough water, but they don't. So if you just take any month and know that you hadn't consumed that number, then what your body has done is it's learning to survive on less water. It goes in what they call a poor adaptive pattern. And so our bodies is so amazing. It's just like Mother Earth. The earth is 70% water, and so is our bodies.
Right.
And so we know what happens when there's a drought, how it affects the whole ecosystem. The same thing happens inside of our body, and our body is so amazing that it makes an adaptation. It's learning to survive with it.
Right.
So for instance, and again, I'm not a doctor, but this is stuff that's general. So for instance, say you're not drinking enough water, your body is trying to survive. It's going to do whatever it needs to do to maintain what they call homeostasis.
Right.
So your body's going to retain fluid. But if you don't have enough water in your body, and your blood is 90% water, so now the calipers where the blood actually travel through the calipers and veins that travel through your body, if it don't have enough water in the blood, they actually get smaller to compensate. And so they want to protect all the important organs, so the further extremities, they tighten down. So it'd be like if we turn on the water hose and we squeezed it, and we got the water turned full blower, the water is still coming out. So what happens is the pressure goes up, and that's where hypertension ends up coming in for a lot of people, is that their body is trying to survive. But unfortunately, you go to the doctor and they see, well, you're retaining a lot of water. So the first thing they do, they put you on a water pill to get rid of that water. Your body, and they say go on a low sodium diet. But that low sodium diet is what's trying to draw and keep the water inside the body, trying to survive. So it's a conflict on what your body's trying to do, on top of you taking medications and stuff. So if you go to the doctor and you got high blood pressure, he's gonna give you several different medications, and you ask them, well, how long I gotta be on these? They say for the rest of your life. There's never really an action plan to get off of it. So one of the things that personally that I can say, with my wife, my mom and dad, who dealt with high blood pressure, they started drinking the water and they started drinking the regular amount on a daily basis.
Right.
Then the medication that they were taking was they were having an adverse effect. So they had to have the medication actually reduced because it actually started to improve. So along with, staying properly hydrated and doing all the other dietary needs, you can actually reverse some of those illnesses and stuff. And so in our community, why, hydrating for life is so important is when you look at the Cancer Society or the Heart Association or the Diabetes Association, we're at the top of the list, at the mortality list. And the only way that we can address it is not taking more medications, but doing the things holistically that can help get us off of that top mark and stuff.
Right.
And so by just, stressing the importance of being properly hydrated, it goes a long way in actually making a paradigm shift in your health practices. So once you understand that, you say, okay, I got to drink more water. Then you think about what are your choices when it comes to drinking water. Well, growing up, when I'm 60 years old, when I grew up playing sports, we can go drink out the water hose,
right.
and it was good. It was clean.
Yeah.
But because more people are, accommodating the earth, people are flushing medications, perfumes, and everything else in the water system. You have water shortages, global warming. That's affecting the regular water supply. So on top of that, they have to add different things to the water to make it safe for the masses. They've added chlorine, fluoride, and all these different things. And then the next option that you have, well, I can buy bottled water. Well, bottled water is nothing but tap water that went to a filtration system. They done try to take everything out. Now, these bottled waters right here, including all of these, none of them have an expiration date on them. So on average, these waters is 3 to 4 months before you actually break the cap from the time that it's bottled at the plant to get to the store, and then you actually buy it and you open it up. It's about 3 to 4 months before it actually is open. So no telling how long it was on the truck or how long it's sitting in your garage waiting when you actually are breaking the cap for it. If it's Fiji or Avion water, it's about 4 times longer because those waters are bottled outside the country and then they brought over. So it's almost 12 to 14 months before you actually break the cap and drink the water. So with that, what I try to tell people when it comes to bottled water, think of bottled water like it's a perishable. We were just talking about fruits and vegetables prior to you coming here. And normally you buy produce that'll last you about 3 days because it's not going to last much longer than that if you buy a lot. So you got to eat it. It's a living thing. So if you look at water as a living perishable, then you have a whole different perspective on it and stuff. So I mentioned that these waters went through a filtration system and it's just tap water, and then they put a pretty picture on it with some mountains so people think that they're getting spring water. Well, for the water to function within our bodies, it has to have some natural electrolytes or minerals in it. That's the calcium, the sodium, and potassium. Those are the natural ingredients that you have to have in water for it to function. If you drink water that have no minerals in it, such as this, or water that goes through a reverse osmosis, they've taken everything out of the water. So now it's just dead water.
Right.
So what happens when you drink a water like this that, say, went through a reverse osmosis and they stripped everything out? It looks clear, you can't see it or anything, but now for the water to function within your body, it has to have those electrolytes in it, us being electrical beings. So where does it get the minerals? Well, the body is an amazing thing. The body said, well, that water's not going to work. You need to put some calcium into it. So where do you get the calcium? From the bones. It will start leaching the minerals within the body. So when you're a teenager or whatnot, you really don't think about it. But it's that old adage, robbing Peter to pay Paul. So what happens is when your body is constantly trying to compensate for the deficiencies that's coming into it, it's robbing different areas within the body to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever been into a senior home, a senior citizen home, and you
Mm-hmm.
smell that ammonia smell,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what that is, that's people. Those are people that are they're aged, they're seasoned people.
Mm-hmm.
They're demineralized, and that's one of the effects of a lifetime of their body just doing whatever it needs to do to survive. So what we want to do is we want to try to preserve that reserve of minerals when we're in our, hopefully when you're in your teenager 20s and 30s. So then when you get to those advanced years, you got something in the tank that will carry you, you know, as far as you can into your natural life. And so your tap water already have those things in it. But when you have certain filters, they take everything out. They're indiscriminate. They just take out everything and they strip it, and you have dead water. So the good thing about the device that Samaj and I have, it takes out all of the bad chemicals, the chlorine, the lye, and other things, and you can put a pre-filter on it that can get additional things like fluoride and other things out your water, but it will leave in those minerals. And those minerals are very important. And so you have living water that's at its best. So when you drink it, then you get the full benefit of what the water can actually do. So what separate what we call is Kangen water. This water that we have is Kangen water. And it's not just a nice name, it's a trademark name that it's able to produce. The clinical name is ionized electrolyzed water. It's medical grade water because it produces water that has certain properties in it that make it unique. So the trademark is so important. So I said, what is a Kleenex? People will say a napkin or IBM. They usually say a copying machine. Well, Kleenex is a trademark. It's a trademark for Kleenex that make tissue. Kleenex is not the what it is. It's just the name, but that's how strong the brand is. So Kangen water is able to make this particular water. So what are the properties that make Kangen water unique? It's 3 properties. It's the oxidation, it's acidic, and it's the hydration. Those are 3 stresses that we have to be able to manage within our bodies. The oxidative stress is what actually causes, you know, you cut out an apple or a banana and you let it sit, it will turn brown. That's oxidation. But the same thing occurs within our bodies. It actually oxidizes. So we try to consume foods and beverages that are antioxidant that will combat the free radicals that's within our body. And so the oxidative stress is one. The second is the acidic stress in our bodies. The acidity is measured with our pH. Our pH in our bodies is 7.325, and that is like if you took our temperature, it's 98.6. That's homeostasis, where your blood pH is going to be 7.3. If you ate McDonald's foods and a lot of acidic foods, you know, for a good portion of your life, your pH is going to remain the same because your body is going to continue to buffer and to keep it there. But at some point, your body's not going to be able to manage that, and then your body going to get very acidic, and then acidosis kicks in. And because the pH scale is a logarithmic scale, it doesn't have to move too far away from that neutral position to become fatal. So most people that are obese are very acidic. People who end up with gout, kidney stones, those are people who are very acidic. So the way you combat that is you try to consume foods that are more alkaline. So Dr. Sebi has really brought that to the forefront in Western civilization. People are more conscious and aware of alkaline. So people are trying to, if it says alkaline on it, people are running right to it. But because marketing is a very slick industry, they know how to manipulate, you know, what people are looking for. They put alkaline on it. So we're going to talk about alkaline water as well. And then the third property is the hydration portion of it. And hydration, I think, is probably one of the most important of the three stresses, because hydration at a cellular level, the water is what's actually transporting the nutrients into your body at a cellular level. And then once it get into the cell, it has to be able to detox you, remove the waste. If the water can't get into your body at a cellular level, then it's not going to be able to remove the waste. And when your body can't get rid of that waste through, exhalation, when you sweat, when you go to the bathroom and your body starts storing a lot of that waste, we know the downside of that. So those are the three properties. So when people are saying, well, I drink this water and that water, all we do is you say, how is it handling those three stresses that you have to manage in your body? So the first one that I mentioned was the oxidative stress. Now, oxidation, we can measure that with a meter. And if it's a positive number, it's oxidizing. And if it's a negative number, it's an antioxidant. Really simple. The bigger the number, if it's positive, it's bad. The bigger the number as a negative number, it's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, this is called ORP meter. It measures the oxidation level. So, and just tell me if you can see it from there. Okay, so this is, and most bottled waters are the same. So this is, so the air is oxidizing. So this is Aquafina, and is it in the 200s?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and it's kind of going up.
Yes.
Okay, Aquafina.
That's Dasani.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dasani.
Yeah, that's even more.
What is this?
280.
280.
280.
Five.
And going.
Okay, going up. Okay, this is Arrowhead.
Woo.
What is that?
290.
290.
Oh, 285.
Okay, oxidizing.
Going down a little bit.
Okay, this is Gatorade. This represents all sports drinks.
Woo.
Yeah.
460.
Very oxidizing.
Very oxidizing.
Okay, Pellegrino. This represents all of these type of drinks.
Ooh.
What is that?
400. 407.
Okay, 7-Up represent all sodas.
And that's a clear soda. 450.
450.
450.
Okay, very oxidizing. This is tap water here at the house. I don't know what it is.
Ooh,
Oh, Lord.
5,
Yeah.
580.
580.
590.
590.
Very oxidizing.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is Kangen water.
You see that negative?
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
What is it?
Negative 4.
450. 469.
Okay, and I did this a couple of hours ago.
Okay.
Okay, so on that, so these were like in the high twos. These went to the 4s. That went to the 5, and this was a negative 4. So you see what the differential is just in oxidation. So, and one of the things when people, no matter, one thing about the bottled water industry or any beverage, because so many, there's over 300 different brands of bottled water on the market. So, and if it's bottled within the state, then there's no regulation. They can just put it out there. Only when it goes across state lines, then it's regulated. But right now, the last I heard, it's about 3%, not 3%, it's like 20% they're able to actually check as far as the quality of water based on the claims that they make.
That's it?
Yeah. They can't check, because every day there's a new water on the market.
So I need to make one?
Huh?
Right.
So I need to make one?
Right.
Yeah, so,
Pretty much.
yeah, and so people get, it's like the wild, it's like
Right.
the tech industry, you know, with these startup companies, you know, they just gonna try to go until regulation catches up to them, and they figure that it's worth the chance. So they may make all kind of claims like they're antioxidant, the pH level, or whatnot. But when we put this meter to it, if it says antioxidant, and they give you a positive number, it's not antioxidant.
Right.
You really can't put an antioxidant in a water or beverage
Container.
and it lasts. It don't have any shelf life.
Right.
That's why you can't buy the Kangen water off the shelf.
Exactly.
It's a living thing. So it's 3 or 4 days is when you really want to actually drink the water. So that's the first property, the oxidation. The second one was the acidity, which is what's going to keep us balanced between alkaline and acidity. Our pH is 7.3. So one of the ways that we can check the pH levels of these different waters is we use pH drops, and it's going to give you a color. So I think on this side is orange, right?
Correct.
Purple on this side. So this is everything going this direction is very acidic, from a color standpoint, and everything to the right of it is alkaline. And so we want to try to consume things that are more alkaline. So I'm just gonna go quickly. These just what these in the pool. Okay. Okay, very acidic.
You already
Very
seen that
acidic.
before.
Very acidic.
Oh, God.
It's a tap water. Now your tap water should register
It's neutral.
slightly neutral to above because they've added chlorine and fluoride to it to bring up the alkalinity. They're mandated by the state or the local municipality. And depending on what's going on in the local city, say if you're in a drought or something, they can lower that standard. So it's right
It's
there.
neutral.
It's right there.
It's right at neutral and stuff. And
Watch
then
that
this is
Kangen.
the Kangen water.
Beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Okay, very alkaline. And nothing's been added to it. And so what happens when you start drinking the Kangen water? And most people will, depending on your condition, some people notice something right away. Some people, they need to get properly hydrated, and it's over a long, it's like getting in shape. You don't get results the first time you go to the gym.
Right.
But if these waters were our body, this is
Alkaline. Alkaline.
that's how it actually adjusts the body. Now, until you get to these beverages, and it's unable to alkalize it. This one right here, you gotta watch it closely, because it'll fool you.
Remember y'all seen that before? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. And
oh
then
my God.
same with the soda. And this represents all sodas. It's unable to alkalize it.
Know how acidic it is.
Now,
Oh.
when I was growing up, my mom was guilty of it, and we were her victims. Whenever we had an upset stomach, she would say, "Drink some 7-Up or ginger ale." And
And actually, it's making it worse, not better.
so
Right.
actually, if you would address the chronic dehydration issue, you
That's-
don't have
Oh,
that indigestion
Right.
that you're having. So, but what happens when you just drink a little bit of soda,
It's a tad.
thinking that, okay,
acidic. Look at that.
it defeats the whole.
Just a little. Look how little it is.
It defeats the
defeats
purpose. And one of the things that I like to do
Oh, wow.
is
Right.
it's really bad. So I take this right here. You have a gallon of water? I got it. I got a gallon right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You have a blanket?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, get the we'll freeze it.
Two
Oh,
blankets.
oh, oh.
Yeah. We'll do this quick.
Oh, because she didn't bring her jacket, that's why.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this 7-Up here. All up in there.
Hey. Yeah.
Then let's see. I don't know if you consume alcohol beverages, but this is just for demonstration purposes.
Sometimes.
This is vodka, okay?
Don't drink none of that though.
Okay.
But it represents all alcohol.
Okay.
For this reason.
Yeah. Okay.
Today.
So we saw what happens when we put the pH drop in here. It become very acidic.
Right.
And now we'll see the vodka. very acidic, just as we
Oh,
would have
God.
thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Ooh.
we saw how the Kangen water was able to alkalize those other waters, but it couldn't do the 7-Up. So say you wanted to drink a whole gallon of Kangen water, would you be able to neutralize it?
Oh. It's not neutralizing it?
You can't neutralize it.
It's too acidic.
It's too acidic.
Oh my God. Woo.
So what about with the vodka?
Watch the vodka though.
Oh, wait a minute.
Because it's natural.
Because it's made with natural ingredients, and the soda is made with a lot of chemicals in it. This is one of the main reasons why type 2 diabetes is on the rise. And so, you know, when we do this whole project, you know, trying to expose as many people in the community, for me, I coached for 30, as Shamas mentioned, I coached the Seahawks for 30 years, and I've given out tons of Gatorade before I knew how detrimental, and the kids would come back from Kentucky Fried Chicken with 40-ounce sodas, and so...
And that KFC is not even there no more.
Yeah.
Right.
Never mind.
And so now, just trying to share this, and when I show young people the soda part and the Gatorade, it has an immediate impact on them because they see it. They say, wow, it don't change and stuff. And they say, oh, I'm never drinking no more sodas again, you know. So that's the second property.
Oh, we just get to the second one. Gee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
It's a lot of information. A lot of great information.
now, I mentioned how the media or the marketing campaign, they really promote alkaline water. One of the most popular alkaline water is Essentia on the market.
Who drink that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So it's better than these waters,
right.
but if you look on the back, and I don't have my reading glasses on, but read off the ingredients on the back of it.
All right. Purified water
Yeah.
by reverse osmosis,
They take everything out,
sodium bicarbonate,
baking soda,
baking soda, dipotassium phosphate, magnesium sulfate, calcium chloride, and electrolytes for taste.
so they have to add stuff in it to change the pH level. You can make any of these waters this.
Yep.
All you do, purify it, then just put the ingredients into it. And so that's what you're drinking when you're drinking this. So this
Spend all
water
that
right
money.
here is restructured through electricity. It's restructured. So when you write out water, it's H2O.
Yeah.
Or if you write it out, HOH. So it's two hydrogen. It's a hydrogen, an oxygen, hydrogen. When it goes through the machine, it disassociates the water. It splits it into two, into a positive and negative. The positive is the acidic, and the negative is the good water. And just depending on what setting, will tell you, you know, you can fluctuate the different pH levels. So, and then after a certain amount of time, that hydrogen and oxygen bonds back together. So the technology, ionization, is not a new technology. It's been around for a long time. But where it was founded, or where the origin of it is, around the world, they have these places like in Tacata, Mexico, Nordau, Germany, Mexico. They have these aquifers, these blue zones, where people in these regions, you know, they live longer and everything. And so the quality of water determines what the civilization is going to be about. Good water, good civilization, good health and well-being. So when they looked into these waters, they noticed it had an abundance of active hydrogen. Because of lightning strikes, the rocks, the waterfalls, the water is being restructured. So people would come from all over and they call it miracle water, trying to take these waters and take it back home. But then, 2 months later, the water's not the same because it's living right there.
Right there.
And so they try to bottle it and whatnot.
Man,
So
eyes.
that's where the scientists first developed the ionization process, trying to duplicate it, but it was an expensive process. Russia actually had started it. Japan eventually did it, and they was able to perfect it to the point where in 1974 they got it approved as Kangen water, and it became medical grade water, and it's in 250 plus hospitals in Japan. And then shortly after that, they developed the home model where people were able to put it in there. So in Japan right now, 1 in 6 households have the technology. In the United States, it's 1 in 18,000. So that's new. So I don't want to lose track of the different properties. So the third one, and I think is the most important, is hydration. And this is not as official or scientific as the other two, but we're going to use this tea bag as if it's for our body. So normally when we make tea, we take some tap water, and to make tea you normally have to do what?
Heat the water.
And when you heat the water, what are you doing to the water? You're actually changing the structure. The water comes in, 3 forms: the liquid, solid, and a gas. So we add Kangen water to it at room temperature. It's actually able to penetrate the tea bag. And so, because the tea bag was wet, we can do it again, just to show you that it's not.
I still can't.
Wow.
It's a difference in the water.
Okay. And then so it's able to penetrate and make the tea. But one of the things that we like to do is whatever this water touches, it amplifies. So if you were cooking, making a smoothie, or any food, any recipe that requires water, so if we just put just a little bit of tea residue in there, and we add water, it's pretty diluted. It amplifies whatever it touches. So, and that's why. So you cooking and stuff, and you cooking it with regular tap water, you're missing out on the flavor or whatever it is. So, big difference.
Makes good tea too.
Yeah, it makes good tea.
Makes really good tea.
Normally, making tea can be a challenge. You try to make iced tea, you gotta sit it in the sun and
Sun
do all
tea.
that.
We know how to make it. Though.
Yeah, you know how to make it.
We boil the water.
Yeah, you boil the water, right? You're doing it.
That's right.
But you already had the room temperature water, and you're already ahead of the game.
Right.
And so if the machine just made those waters, it would be content. But what it actually is actually having a water factory in your home, because it's the other waters that is just as important. So I didn't fill this up with any beauty water.
Need some beauty water?
Yeah. So it has different settings, go from 2.5 all the way up to 11.5.
Okay.
So the he's getting some 6.0 water, and that's a beauty water.
Why would we want 2.5 though?
Huh?
Why would we want 2.5
Oh,
water?
we're gonna get to that.
Oh, okay. I'm
So,
like 2.5.
of course, right?
Right.
So so the 6.0
Oh, I
water
think
is a
yeah.
beauty water, which is a good water for a toner. So
Oh,
it tightens your face. A lot of women like to put a essential oil in it to give it a fragrance, but it tightens your skin. You can actually feel it actually tighten.
Really?
Yeah,
Like a
the beauty,
toner, like witch hazel or something.
yeah,
like
and
that,
so, and you know how, and beauty water is expensive. You know, you go to
Yes.
Macy's or
yeah, that
something.
miracle, whatever it's
Yeah.
called.
So here you got an unlimited amount coming from the machine, but also that 6.0 water is the same as the soil should be. So if you're watering plants or you got roses or something, you water with the 6.0, and it's much healthier for the plants and stuff. The other thing, if you're cooking pasta, beans, or grits, it's good to use the beauty water because it's slightly acidic, and it actually makes your pasta a little bit more al dente. So you can use that.
So
Then
you can set your machine to the 6.5.
yeah, you can set it. You just push a button and you get it.
Oh, okay.
And again, this is the beauty water, like I said, and we use this. You just use it as a sprayer, and you don't have to put nothing else on your face. And you can actually feel it. And you're in real hot weather, it's great to have because you can feel it absorb into your skin and hydrate your skin at a level.
Wow.
So
it's just water.
Ooh, and
So-
you spend a lot of money for hydrate.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Hydrating stuff.
So then the next water, now we're gonna go up on the scale. We're gonna go to 11.5. So 11.5 water is a strong alkaline water. So if this is, so the pH scale goes from 0 to 14.
Okay.
That's where it goes to. So whenever you run water through the machine, you're getting two waters coming out. And those two waters, when you add up the numbers out of both of them, they're going to always add up to 14. So if you put it on neutral water, 7.0, 7.0 is coming out of both. If you put it on 2.5 water, you're going to get 2.5 out of one hose and 11.5 out of the top hose. So that 11.5 hose, you know you guys are going to eat, huh? And so these are some tomatoes I picked up on the way here. Okay, so normally when I do this, and if I don't spill any tomatoes, you guys have to give me an applause. Okay.
You're doing good.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so so now, like I said, the water, the drinking water, you want to drink it within a couple of days as a short shelf life. But the 11.5 and 2.5 will last, 10 to 14 days if you keep it in a dark container and keep it out the sunlight. And why this water is important, so when we buy our tomatoes and stuff, they spray different pesticides on them and stuff. So let's see, we call it super water too. So I drink it. So I'm just gonna pour that in here. Put that right there and take some tap water. This is how we normally clean our fruits and vegetables, right?
Yes.
I use soap too.
Okay, so we're gonna let that sit for a minute, and I'll put a cup right here. Okay. So this is some sesame seed oil. Just a little bit. It smells. Now, what happens when you add oil and water? It separates and don't break it down. And these pesticides are oil based. But if we take some of this 2.5 water, and again, I like doing this because I always get a chance to take a sip of it, and we add it to the,
It's breaking the oil down.
it breaks it down. It actually emulsify it. And why this is important is if you put this water in a container like this, do this real quick. You can hold your hands out real quick. Okay. Just rub it back and forth. Like you washing your hands. Both sides. Okay.
I have some too.
And so why this is good?
Try it now.
Yeah, you can try it. And then just tell me how your hands feel.
Yeah.
And so what women actually use is for women who wear makeup, they actually use this to remove makeup on their face. So to get it down, it's a degreaser. But if you put it in a container like this, you can add, if you have grease on your stove, you say you fried chicken or fish, you just spray it and it breaks the oil down, you just wipe it. The oven, if you can add it to your wash.
That's a 2.5?
No, this is 11.5.
11.5.
11.5 So
Gee,
these
yeah.
tomatoes have been sitting for not that long, right?
Couple minutes.
Okay, so I'm not gonna touch the tomato.
Nothing.
Okay, and then we'll
Nothing. Come on.
do these. Not too much. Sometimes they have a clear pesticide on it.
Oh wow.
Can you
I see the difference.
Mm-hmm.
you see the difference? But what I like to
So
do
why
is
is it
like this.
green on it? He should put it on the white side.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
You see it?
Mm-hmm.
You see the difference?
It's a slight tint.
It's yeah. it
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
that one is too.
You just try one.
Watch the taste of it.
Okay.
It's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Like a tomato, like it should taste, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now taste it with the tap water.
But I could tell they hydrated because it feel like they.
Okay, now this
taste
is
like
which
they-
one? Tap?
The tap water.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what?
These taste sweet and these taste sour.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
Exactly.
so-
Same
My
thing.
bad, it's
I
not
drink.
too
I eat
sour.
them all the time. That's how I
Right.
know my.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what ends up happening is when you just clean, say if you were just eating these normally, then you would just your palate will say, this is how they supposed to taste. So when people travel to say Jamaica or something or tropical and they eat the fruits and vegetables, wow, it tastes so much better than back home and stuff. So your palate just sort of get accustomed to it. So when you start cleaning your fruits and vegetables with the 11.5, you have a whole different appreciation for your
Yes.
fruits and vegetables and
Yes.
stuff.
Right.
And then so on the other end of the scale, the 2.5 is not just 2.5, it's hypochlorous acid. And this water will kill 99% of all germs. So if you have a sore throat or something,
I was like, don't.
and so
Mm-hmm. Only a little bit though, not a lot.
inside drinking, so it's not poisonous. So you tell me, smell this. Tell me what it smells like.
It's not
Like,
chlorine?
Mm-hmm.
definitely chlorine.
Yeah.
That's water.
Yeah, it's water, but it's hypochlorous acid.
Right.
And what that means is it's the best disinfectant for human beings. It's not poisonous, and it actually penetrates. Like if you're doing wound care,
Yep.
and you want to clean a wound out, you can spray it. Even if you have pink eye, you can spray it in the eye. Like
Wow.
if I ever felt a little itch in my throat, I just gargle with it and swallow a little bit of it, and it kills it. And with the whole, there's so much stuff out with Corona and everything, and don't make claims, but
It stopped my blood from coagulating on my thumb when it was cut.
yeah. So what I do is that I spray it in my nostrils.
Stop from bleeding.
Like if you sinus infection or
Yeah.
something, you spray it up there, and then it kills that for cooking. So, like when it comes to your cutting boards or whatnot,
Yeah.
cooking fish or chicken, you
Oh.
clean your cutting boards with it. But we even take it a step further in my household. And I know a lot of other people do it. So if I got chicken or fish or something, I always soak it in 2.5 for a couple of minutes to kill salmonella, E.
Right.
coli, and then I rinse it with this. People,
Is that the
So what's that?
12.5?
that's 11.5. 11.5.
11.5.
11.5 breaks down oil, as you can see, this kills germs and bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
So like the 2.5 is in a spray bottle. So in my house, we don't have this bottle. We have just generic bottles in all the bathrooms and in the kitchen. So this is what we clean the toilets and the bathtubs with.
Ooh, that saves a whole lot of
Oh,
money.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so that's why I say it's a water factory that you actually have.
Mm-hmm.
So when people have it,
Unlimited supply.
it's an unlimited supply of uses. So if you got little kids around, you don't worry about having any poisonous chemicals. We have we have a few restaurants in the Bay Area that actually have the machine in the restaurant because a lot of them are trying to go green. In some cities like Santa Monica, they're mandated that they have to be environmental free. And so and then it becomes another profit center because it makes ionized, the Kangen water is trademarked and it got all the certifications. They can actually sell the water. So they can just turn on their faucet, run it through the machine, put it in a bottle, and they can sell it. So it becomes another profit center in restaurants. And then in addition to cooking with it and cutting down on their cleaning expenses. So one of the things that, and I didn't pull this all out because so I'm not, yeah. So
A lot of reading material.
So it's a lot of, depends on who you are, you know, like I don't overwhelm people. But I talked about dehydration. And this Dr. Bachman Getty has probably done more research on dehydration. So I recommend anyone that want to learn more about it is to read it. He was actually a prisoner of war. And the only thing that he was able to treat other prisoners was with water. And that's when he discovered that he was making tremendous success, and he's done a lot of research. So he's the authority on it. This really talks about the pH miracle in our bodies and stuff and why it's essential. This one, again, is talking about alkalinity and stuff. So you're not going to get this from your regular doctor. You're not sick, you're thirsty. This is another great, same author, but really talk about different elements and stuff and how it's all tied to dehydration. And this one, the water prescription, drinking water, and I'm slowly getting and then Confessions of a Skeptical Physician, so you know where he's going. So, but this doctor right here, Hiromi Shinya, and the company don't pay anyone to actually endorse the product, but this doctor right here is, everybody heard of a colonoscopy. Well, the colonoscopy, they developed the Shinya method where it's not as invasive to remove polyps, and this is the doctor that developed that procedure. So he's done presidents, people of royalty. He's done the most
colonoscopy or some other procedure?
The colonoscopy. He's the one who developed the non-invasive. They call it the Shinya method. They named it after him method. The surgical procedure to go in and remove the polyps from people and stuff. But one of the things that he demands of all his patients is to drink a high ionized water, and he referenced Kangen water in here. And none of his patients that he's treated never had a reoccurrence of cancer. And like I said, I can't make any claims, but this is public information. So that's it. So at this point, I just leave it to you to ask me any questions, and that's it.
I don't think I have it.
I thought I had some, but I don't have any. You answered that one.
I have the rest of those tomatoes.
Absolutely. I'm not taking them home, and I'll clean the other ones.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.